Loneliness is a scary thing. One of the movies that made me think and imagine of being alone is Cairo, a film made in 2001, a movie about social anxiety, isolation, and loneliness. With the current pandemic, it's pretty, lonely. We need the internet more than ever, and without it, funny enough, it's horrifying. So, I want to do this exercise. Do this with me. You can skip. It's like a imagination thing. So if you guys don't want to do it, you can skip to this part. For those who want to do it, just close your eyes and listen to me closely. Imagine this after a long day, hard work or tough time at school, or you just had a bad day, and you're tired, so you go to sleep. It's peaceful, quiet. You hear your breathing, and your consciousness slowly fades away. Then you wake up, but then you notice something. It's too quiet. Too quiet. No cars moving. You don't hear people talking. You turn on the TV and see nothing but static. So you go outside. You get into a car, bike, or even walk. And you see no one. Only winds whispering in your ears, a few birds chirping, and maybe some insects crying. You notice that suddenly, you're the only one human being in your world. What do you do now? So to me, that thought only makes me afraid. There's only two things that makes me scared. That is human beings and loneliness. Human beings are unpredictable and dangerous. One person can cause a lot of damage. That's scary. Like Jack, a character from another movie, from the house that Jack built. Don't worry, no spoilers. It's about Jack, a man who thinks that what he's doing is art. And what he's doing is pretty dangerous and horrifying. And that's scary. That people's desires, those deep desires, our desires, might be dark, unnerving, or just straight up dangerous. Not the loneliness, which is the main theme about this video. Me thinking about it is just scary. Dying alone, being alone, and just living alone. That's it. Just makes me scared. There's a quote from the game I really loved, Death Stranding, a game about loneliness and isolation. Living is no different if you're all alone. And that quote is true. You might think, oh wow, that's silly of you, or wow, what a bullshit, or something like that. Well, yeah, of course, with the help of the internet, you can interact with people, make friends, talk with them, and maybe in the future they might be your partner. And here comes about the talk of the internet. The movie Cairo made me think that people on the internet is no one. For those who haven't watched it, I really do recommend it. If you have no issue about watching a slow movie, this talk might be there might be few spoilers for you. So if you guys are interested, stop watching this video, go watch the movie. So the movie is about social interaction, both the internet and the real world. And the director back then, in 2001, thought that people will not be interacting the same way as before. I'm not saying that the internet is a bad thing. It's a great thing, one of the best things that human did make. And but the movie portrays about the lack of social interaction. This unknown force out of nowhere making us not to interact with people. It's like nowadays, we can't interact with each other as much as before. But the internet helps us connect with people. At the same time, do you think that people on the internet are real? Well, I'm not thinking as the same way as before. That thought of people on the internet are not real was nothing but my childish thought back when I was a kid who watched this movie. But now I don't think that way. Instead, people on the internet nowadays are just not them. Nothing but masks, pretending to be cool, charismatic, or force themselves to be someone else, not to be them. And to me, That's both sad and scary. You don't know the real them. You don't know if they're nice. You don't know if they're faking, or you don't know if they're dangerous in real life. And think for a minute. Do you think are you? It's a simple question, I know, but do you really know? And this is what isolation does this to you. It makes you paranoid, makes you second guess about people. It makes you crazy. And I'm lucky that I met really wonderful people on the internet, but I also saw what made me sad and scared. That loneliness also pushes you to be someone else, just to be noticed or to make friends. This will just remove the real you, and that thought is scary. Of the isolation pushing you to be someone else. That's one of the scariest thing I've thought of. Oh, you're just overthinking, some of you guys think. But no, it's not that. It's more than that. Isolation either makes you dangerous or to be gone. Being alone for a long time is scary. If you're completely fine with being all alone in the whole world, then congrats, you're a brave person. But to me, that's horrifying. Maybe some of you guys think it's horrifying. No more people to talk to, no more people to play with, or no more people to watch them play games. And it's scary to think that people you meet on the internet, because of the isolation, it changed them. Of course, changing to be better is good. It's great. Isolation do push people to do something else, like meeting people in VR chat to make friends, etc. But what I'm saying is that loneliness can also do cause damage to yourself. Not only that the isolation will make you do something else.
死んだらどうなるんだろうって小さい頃からいつも考えてたの。ずっと一人だったし。
親とか兄弟はい
るよ。でも関係ない。
はあ。
死んじゃえばさ、あっちの世界でみんなと楽しく暮らせるんじゃないかなって。
ねえ、やめないそういうこと言うの。
だってそうかもしれないでしょ。
それはまあ。
でも高校の時はって気がついたの。死んでもずっと一人だったらどうする？
This scene with these two characters are powerful and both scary. This female character who was all alone back when she was a kid, the isolation made her thought about death. You don't want the isolation to do things to you. You need to do the things that prevents the isolation. After that last scene, the female character asks the male character that, are they even real? She thinks that the people on the screens are nothing. She thinks that people and the ghosts are the same thing. Just beings that are lonely, waiting for the end. But the man doesn't believe it, calling them crazy. He believes that the people in the future will find a way, a medicine that makes people live forever. He says this because he's afraid. He might lose his only friend. He might be alone again. This man was learning how to use a computer just to interact with people. And this random woman was kind enough to help him. He made a friend, but she's losing it. And he doesn't want that to happen. Both of the characters knows the pain and the feelings of being alone. And I did tear up a bit to think that this random person was kind enough to help him, and she's losing it. And he's trying his best to help her in any way. In any sort of way. This movie is just not about ghosts or spirits. It's also about social interaction and the importance of it. And this is why this movie is one of my favorites. This movie shows that the isolation really is a dangerous thing. That we need each other, communications, or even just a simple interaction. This movie taught me that loneliness is scarier than ghosts. If people get desperate, they change their actions and their behavior. That if you're so lonely that you might do something rash or horrible, it's scary. It shows both sides of loneliness. People who are desperate and people who just gave up. This movie is both beautiful and grim. Sometimes it's unsettling and scary. It It taught me the beauty of human interaction, communications, and how they support each other. It taught me that the isolation is something that you can overcome. It taught me that the loneliness is a scary thing,